Hi, this is Jeff Langlois. I want to show you what we like to do for everybody that comes in here. So obviously we're very concerned about your symptoms, but we don't treat any symptoms. We don't treat disease. We actually build health. So the body is self-healing, and you can think of it sort of like a tomato plant. So if you had a tomato plant in your yard and you had unhealthy tomatoes, you could either spray a chemical on the tomatoes, or you could go and find some sort of natural spray that you could spray on your tomatoes to fix the bugs or get rid of the bugs on your tomatoes. But really what you want to do is you want to test the soil and find out what's going on in the soil and fix the soil with minerals, bacteria, nutrients, and then you will build a healthy tomato plant. When you have a healthy tomato plant, then there will not be bugs on the tomatoes. Sick plants actually give off scents and odors to attract bugs to recycle them back into the ground. So a healthy plant does not give off those signals, it defends itself. So what we do here is called Nourish and Detox. That could also be called get the good stuff in and get the bad stuff out. So our bodies, as I'm a nutritionist and a naturopath, a traditional naturopath, and I want to make sure that your body has a chance to heal itself and support itself. So the best test and the best way to do this is with something that's called a tissue mineral analysis. So tissue mineral analysis. So we want to look in your body for minerals, and we want to look in the tissues. Now the tissues are different than the blood. The blood is a different compartment. Blood carries the nutrition to your tissues. So that's the blood's function, is like a carrier vehicle, but it doesn't actually do the function that your muscles do, that your thyroid do. So this would be a tissue sample, similar to a biopsy in the doctor's office. The doctor takes out a needle, they might biopsy your thyroid because they can't tell what's going on in your blood. They might biopsy your liver. They stick a tube down your throat, they biopsy your intestines. So they're actually taking a tissue sample, so these are different compartments in your body. Another way of looking at it is ping pong balls. Your body's made out of trillions of ping pong balls. We want to look inside the ping pong balls, not outside. The blood carries it to the cells of your body and to the tissues. So a lot of times diseases or actually things don't show up in the blood. You could test for calcium in your blood. This is a great example. And so you go to your doctor, they test your blood, and your calcium levels look good in your blood. But what's going to happen is your body's going to pull the calcium out of your bones, so it's going to pull it out of the tissue and bring it into the blood. The blood is like your checking account. Your body always wants healthy blood. If you get poisoned or toxins into the blood, the body always wants to get the toxins out of the blood, and it stores the toxins in the tissues and the fat cells. And it'd be the same with the nutrients. If your nutrient supply drops in your blood, the body will pull it out of the tissues. It will kill the tissues to support the blood. So that's why we want to test tissues, a completely different test than testing the blood that your doctor does. Now, I've actually seen people that were dying of cancer, and they knew they were going to die like in 6 months to a year, and their blood work looked fine. So the body had somehow maintained to keep healthy blood work, but this person was falling apart and their tissues were not doing well. So a tissue mineral analysis. Now the easiest tissue to test is hair. It's painless, but if you want to pull out a fingernail or scrape off some skin cells, we could do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to do a hair sample, and that's the tissue that we use. And we're going to analyze it for minerals. So you're going to get this, you're going to get a copy of this entire booklet here. It's probably about 50 pages explaining what they found in your hair. And a hair mineral analysis looks like this. And you can see here calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, iron, copper, manganese, zinc, chromium, selenium, phosphorus. These are good guys, and we want to have the levels right about here in the blue. And these are things that you don't want to have in your body. Things like lead, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, aluminum. These things we don't want to have, and these things we do want to have. So Magnesium, for instance, does about 500 different functions in your body, and zinc maybe does about 100. So each of these things are involved in dozens of functions in your body. So the best way, the most cost-effective way to measure this is through a hair mineral analysis. So everybody's is different, and I like to show people a little book here, and here we have a good one, and here we have things are way too high, kind of in the beginning. We have that again in here, things are too high. Here we have an example of a 2-year-old where the minerals were really, really low. You can kind of see those bar graphs there. This one was real low in the beginning and then spiked to high potassium. So everybody is different. So that's how we focus on the Nourish side of the equation. And now we want to talk about the Detox side. Unfortunately, the world we live in is filled with lots of toxins in the environment, and these can interfere with your health. So in October of 2006, National Geographic, right here, did this study called The Pollution Within. And what they did was they took this 40-year-old journalist here, David, that worked for them, who had no health problems, and they tested him for 320 different chemicals in his body, and they found 165 chemicals in his body. They found flame retardants, plastics, pesticides, heavy metals, and these things can interfere with your thyroid, your nervous system, your hormonal system, your kidneys, your liver. So these things, we don't know all the damage that these cost, but they found 165 chemicals in this guy's body. The World Health Organization, which is part of the United Nations, says that on average we have about 700 chemicals in our bodies. And so it's very important to achieve great health. A healthy soil, a tomato plant, is that we get these poisons out of your body, help you get these out of your body, and we get the good stuff in your body. Thank you very much.